Okay, just picture this for a second. You walk through your front door and you hear that sound. Drip, drip, drip. Or even worse, your foot just sinks into a soaking wet carpet. Ugh, it's that instant sinking feeling of panic, right? Water damage is one of the most destructive things that can happen to a home. And in that moment, you've got to make a really fast decision. Who do you call? Well, let's break it down. First things first, if this ever happens to you, just know you are definitely not alone. An unexpected leak or a full-on flood is, believe it or not, a super common headache for homeowners. For a lot of people, it's really not a matter of if it'll happen, but when. And get this statistic, 1 in 50. That means for every 50 homes out there with insurance, at least one of them will file a water damage claim this year. That number is, wow, surprisingly high, and it really just highlights how absolutely critical it is to know the right steps to take and to take them fast. Look, we've all been there with a small spill, right? You grab a towel, maybe a second one, and you're done. Problem solved. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about that moment you realize this problem is way, way bigger. The moment water is literally seeping into your drywall, or worse, pouring from a pipe. That's when you know for sure you need a professional. And this brings us right to the heart of the issue. You're in the middle of this chaos, water is spreading, and you have to decide who to call first. Is it a plumber or is it a restoration company? Your first call can honestly make all the difference. So the water's spreading. Your stress level is through the roof. Who gets that first critical phone call? Well, the right answer depends entirely on knowing what each of these professionals actually does. On the surface, you might think they basically do the same thing, right? They deal with water problems. But that's not quite right. While they often work together on the very same disaster, their roles, their tools, and their expertise are actually worlds apart. All right, let's really get into the nitty-gritty. Plumber versus restoration. Understanding this difference is the absolute key to making the right call, minimizing the damage to your home, and, trust me on this, avoiding even bigger problems like mold down the road. So here's the most important thing to remember. A plumber's job is to stop the flow. That's it. Think of them as the first responders who tackle the source of the water. Their job is to fix that burst pipe, seal the leak, whatever it takes to stop more water from pouring into your home. Now let's look at the other side of the coin. A restoration service deals with the aftermath. Their job is to come in and fix the damage the water left behind. They're the ones with all the specialized equipment to dry everything out, handle mold, and repair soggy drywall or ruined floors. They are the recovery team. Let's break this down side by side to make it super clear. First, their focus is different. Plumbers stop the source. Restoration services repair the damage. Their scope is also totally different. Plumbers deal with pipes, leaks, clogs. Restoration handles the big stuff: drywall, flooring, even mold. And finally, the timeline. A plumbing fix might just take a few hours, but a full restoration, yeah, that can be a much, much longer process. Okay, so now that we've got the definitions down, let's apply this to some real-world situations. When exactly do you call one versus the other? Let's take a look. You should definitely call a plumber first for anything directly related to your plumbing system. So if you've got a leaky toilet, a clogged up drain, a faucet that just won't stop dripping, these are all classic plumber jobs. And even with something huge like a burst pipe, your first call is to the plumber because you have to stop that gushing water. So when does the restoration service come into play? Well, you call them when you're dealing with the consequences. A flooded basement, soggy drywall that's starting to look wavy, that musty smell that could be mold, or carpets that are just completely soaked. And, this is critical, you call them right after the plumber has done their job and stopped a major leak. You know, there's a really simple way to think about this. It's totally possible you're going to need more help than a plumber can give you. I mean, plumbers are absolute experts with pipes and fittings, but they aren't equipped for huge structural drying or getting rid of mold. That is exactly when a restoration company needs to step in. Okay, you get the difference now. So let's put this all together into a simple, effective action plan you can actually remember when the pressure is on. This is exactly what to do the moment you discover a water emergency in your house. Here it is, 3 super simple steps. First, and honestly, this is the most important, just stop and take a breath. Panicking never helps. Second, do a quick assessment. Is this a tiny leak or a major flood? And third, based on that quick look, make the right call using what we've just talked about. That's it. Stop, assess, and call. So we'll leave you with this final thought. Uncontrolled water can be one of the single most destructive forces your home will ever face. Now that you know the difference and you have a plan, the real question is, are you ready for it? Honestly, having the right phone numbers handy and this knowledge in your head is the best insurance you can possibly have.